Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's 9 for the Tuesday night edition of Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on CatEye Network Radio. Here from the Jack, my name is Michael Turillo. Happy to have your company. Bryce Wojnowski joins me live from the broadcast desk as the Wildcats host their final non-conference weekday game before they start conference play this weekend. The Jacksonville Dolphins are in town from 2 hours up the road, and the Wildcats are looking to round out what has been an up and down non-conference schedule, Bryce.
No doubt there's been plenty to nitpick, plenty to talk about over the course of the last couple weekends, and I think that's a good thing. If you're a team with championship aspirations, that is what non-conference ball is all about. Coach Hernandez would tell you 100 times out of 100 that it's a way to work the kinks out and get ready for SWAC play. And now you're on the doorstep, and this is a Jacksonville team that's competitive in a very good conference that is the Atlantic Sun. These two teams have played to some battles a lot over the last couple of years, and it's a chance to get those last minute issues, quirks out of your lineup, of your defense, of everything else before you go full bore into SWAC play this weekend.
The Wildcats have changed up their lineup a little bit from the squad that took 2 of 3 from defending America East champions Maine over the weekend. Jamie Villafane leads off and plays shortstop. Garrett Shun is in left field batting second. Sergio Rivera is in center field batting third. Jose Gonzalez, the designated hitter today, batting fourth. Manny Sufrain remains at first base batting fifth. Jorge Gonzalez Fabo returns to the lineup batting sixth and playing right field this time. Irvin Escobar is the catcher batting seventh. Peter Vasquez at third base batting eighth. And Colton Olison is at second base and in his typical ninth spot. And the starting pitcher for the Wildcats is the freshman Joel Corey, earning his second start of the season after impressing last week against FIU. And he toes the mound as Will Gale steps into the right-hand batter's box. The righty deals low ball one. And we are underway. Temperature in the mid 60s, partly cloudy skies, wind lazily blowing in from right field. The second pitch is also low, missed with the fastball, and it's 2-0. Corey is 0-1 with a 2.25 ERA, the 2-0 in there for a strike, 2-1. In 3 appearances with 1 start, 8 innings pitched, he's given up 2 runs on 5 hits, both earned, struck out 6, walked 4. Pitch. Ground ball towards third, but foul, and the count goes 2-2. And opponent batting averages are just batting 172 against him, and I think that's the big stat that you look for, and the reason why he may be trending towards a weekend guy going forward for Coach Hernandez's squad. Here's the 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2.
Make no mistake about it, this is an audition. Last week, Corey blew past all expectations for a freshman at a tough school down there at FIU. This is an audition for a weekend spot.
The 3-2. Grounded towards short. Fielding and firing is Villafane. Got him by half a step with a nice stretch by Sufrain, one away.
And I think with all the quirks that have showed themselves, whether it's timely hitting, timely pitching, etc., the defense for this Wildcats team has really stepped up in the early part of the season. That shortstop third base tandem has been outstanding. Manny Sufrain has been excellent over at first base. Colton Olson, of course, always anchors that spot, but that's been the strong suit of this Wildcats team.
Still working things out in the outfield, including getting Jorge Gonzalez Fabo a spot in right field. This is his first time starting in the outfield by my estimation this season. First pitch to Justin Nadeau is outside and low to the lefty. He is the best hitter the Dolphins have. Pitch. Grounded towards first, but foul. Nadeau batting .404. 11 runs on 19 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, no homers, and 10 RBI. And the 1-1. Low 2-1. And it seems that Corey is just a little over rotating on that fastball early on. It's been the off speed that's found the zone early. Quickly into the 2-1. Hit in the air towards right field. Fabo going back, and it is over his head and bounces over the wall for a ground rule double.
And not the start you want, of course, if you're Corey, but it's also important as we talk about the chance to work your way into a weekend spot to deal with some adversity. And this is a big spot for a freshman, and you see what he's made of with men on base. He was excellent against FIU a weekend ago, and this is a really great challenge for him out of the gate. We'll see how the runner on base affects his mentality on the mound.
Now here's Tyler Henriquez, the designated hitter, a junior batting .300, making his ninth start of the season. First pitch to him, breaking ball finds the outside corner to the righty 0-1. Henriquez, 8 runs on 9 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 ribbies in limited action for the Dolphins this season. Corey checks the runner, comes home with it. Another breaking ball gets a swing and miss from Henriquez, and it's 0-2. Wildcats, throughout the early part of this season, and especially in the weekend series against Maine, that they spin it a throwback to second, Nadeau's there in time, has had trouble closing things, whether it be innings with 2 outs or batters with 2 strikes. Coach Hernandez talking to us before the end of the Maine series over the weekend. Pitch, breaking ball misses low, and it's 1-2. Said that that's maybe the biggest thing they need to clean up going forward.
The 2-out hitting for really both teams, but in the way it hurt the Wildcats was really frustrating last weekend, no doubt. Something as a coach that you just can't really accept.
Corey from the belt fires the 1-2. Upstairs with the fastball, 2-2. Corey, part of a tremendous high school program at Central Point Academy. Originally out of Puerto Rico, the pitch. Now on him with another slider, swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 2 away.
And that's where Corey had his success a week ago today. He only had the 4 strikeouts, but make no mistake about it, that off speed was absolutely his bread and butter. He's maybe shown one of the better put away pitches we've seen from a Wildcat staff that hasn't relied on the strikeout as much as we've seen in years past.
So now with 2 down and Nadeau on second, here's Josh Steidel. The lefty crowds the plate. Here's the pitch. Low. It gets past the catcher, and it's going to be an easy move over to third from Nadeau on the pass ball. Escobar struggled to keep that one in front of him, and it's 1-0 with the game's opening run standing just 90 feet away. Corey breathes in, breathes out, delivers. Big cut and miss, and again, that slider that tails into the lefties and away from the righties is his big pitch. But again, as a freshman, you don't want to over-rely. The 1-1. That one is just misses outside and low, and it's 2-1.
When you say over-rely, it's important to have a pitch that you can always count on to find the zone. And for a slider that's relying mostly on deception and swings and misses, that's not quite the pitch you want for that, especially early in counts.
The 2-1. Big and a big pop-up on the left side of the infield. It's actually the left fielder that comes all the way in, has to adjust a little bit to the wind, but Garrett Chun makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we go to the bottom of the first. Jacksonville nothing, Wildcats coming to bat. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Network. 2, the bottom of the first, we go in a scoreless game here at the Jack. Wildcats will get their first look at the right-handed junior from Lakeland, Florida, Blake Barquin. And Jamie Villafane will get the first crack at him. Jamie Villafane used a good series against Maine to take the batting average lead on this team. He's hitting .444 coming into tonight's contest. And righty to righty, the first pitch. Breaking ball catches the zone at the knee, 0-1. Barkin, tall for a pitcher, 6'6". And he uses that length that kind of comes sidearm towards the plate. Second pitch fouled away, 0-2.
I've harped on Villafane a lot to start this season because Coach Hernandez has made it very clear this wasn't a guy who was brought in for his offense by any means. So this is a big surprise to have him at the top of the lineup.
And he got plunked in the helmet, and he'll take his base. Got hit by a pitch in the first inning on Sunday against Maine.
And it's not just base hits that have done it for him. 605 on base percentage for Villafane. He has earned that leadoff spot, at least for now.
And here is the player that had the team lead in batting average going into the Maine series, but has since relinquished it, Garrett Chun. He got no love from the Black Bears pitching staff. First pitch, a breaking ball tailing away from the lefty, and it's 0-1 for a strike.
Chun might have been due for a weekend like that. He was blistering hot to start this year. It was really unbelievable what he was able to do at the plate for this team.
Runner on first, the 0-1. Runner goes, throw down to second, is sailed over the head of the shortstop and into center field, and Villafane's got a stolen base. I probably would have been safe anyway because Villafane's got some blistering speed on the base path.
It's been interesting to see how this Wildcats team has navigated the small ball, the base running to start this season. It's been a healthy amount of steals to be sure, but I think they've been smart for the most part. There haven't been a lot of really bad plays on the bases.
The 1-1 missed his spot outside. 2-1 did Barquin. Barquin appeared 20 times last season for the Dolphins. Won 4 games and had 2 saves, and that ball is chopped back to the screen, and it's 2-2. This year, he's got 3 appearances, and this is his 3rd start. He's got a 12.08 ERA. The 2-2. Outside 3-2. In 12 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 20 runs on 17 hits, all earned. 7 strikeouts, 9 walks, and a .321 opposing batting average. Full count delivery to Chun. Swinging a foul away, and we'll do it again. And that was the 4th hit by pitch that he's thrown in just 12 2/3 innings.
I personally might got my fill of hit by pitches on Saturday night. I think the final tally was 14 of them.
Wow.
So no more, thanks. I'm good.
Chun fouls another one off, and the count holds full.
I told everybody on the broadcast that I should have gone with you guys to Tallahassee on Saturday. It was a grind out here to be light about it.
Well, we appreciate you pinch hitting while the CatEye Network crew is in Tallahassee. Ground ball straight back to the pitcher. It was a diving grab by Barquin. He throws out Chun, but it's essentially a swinging bunt. It gets Villafane over to third.
Pitchers are fielders too. Credit to Barquin for being a little light on his feet there and going over to make the play. It wasn't the easiest one in the world.
But being right-handed, it was to his glove side, but it wasn't the easiest play. Had to scramble a little bit. Now here's Sergio Rivera, batting .305, 13 runs on 18 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, and 7 ribbies. And a slider catches the outside corner, 0-1. He's looking for his 8th of the season with Jamie Villafane 90 feet away. So both teams have had a runner at third in the opening inning. And Barquin deals inside, big cut and miss, and actually I think he got a piece of it and fouled it straight down. Either way, it's 0-2.
Haven't been a whole lot of true swings and misses yet from the Wildcats. Of course, it's very early, but a lot of foul balls, which bodes well for a good night at the plate. It's been interesting to see as the weather has warmed up from, what little cold we had at the start of the season, how much the bats have kind of come to life, especially last weekend.
Infield in to try and defend the bunt. Rivera swings and chops one foul right at home plate again. Count holds 0-2. And 2 years ago, when the Wildcats had all that speed and did all that stealing, I would expect maybe a squeeze play here. This team, not so much. The 0-2. Ground ball, Cropper to third. They go to first to try and get the out. They do, but the run scores. Villafane comes home, and it's 1-0 Wildcats. Well, a hit by pitch, a stolen base, and two straight sacrifices. Sometimes it doesn't matter how it gets across, it just matters that it does.
A little bit of a dangerous situation there for Tanner Zellum over at third, kind of late to make the decision. Nearly got nobody out on that play, but he does come through. A nice ball over to first, made the play in time.
Now with the bases empty and two down, here's Jose Gonzalez. Takes a first pitch at the eyeballs, and it's 1-0. Gonzalez over the weekend was 3 for 5 with a run scored and 2 RBIs on Sunday. Had himself a good day against Maine, a game, unfortunately, the Wildcats eventually fell 6-3. And the pitch. Ball low, 2-0. Gonzalez on the season, a 309 hitter, 10 runs on 17 hits, 2 doubles, a homer, and 8 ribbies. Bases empty, the 2-0. In there for a strike down the middle, 2-1. Something I do admire about this iteration of the Wildcats is they're much more patient at the plate than Wildcat teams we've seen in the past as a pitch goes low, 3-1. Oh, no, excuse me, ball 4. The scoreboard was behind, so it's a walk issued by Barquin, and here comes the man of the hour, Manny Soufrain.
Defending SWAC co-hitter of the week, Manny Soufrain, had himself a weekend last weekend. Long home run. See if he's got any left to uncork here tonight with the wind blowing out to left field.
1 on, 2 out. First pitch grounded to first and a foul ball. Ooh, that was so close. That one went all the way to the corner, and if that had just barely moved to the left a couple of inches, he's probably got an RBI double.
And for Soufrain, we talked with Coach Hernandez early in the season, and he was a guy that, Johnny told us, that the average has been there, but we haven't quite seen the pop, the explosiveness that we were expecting to see from him from the big, lefty bat. That has finally started to come along with the doubles, with the home runs.
The 0-1, check swing, he did not swing. The ball goes low and outside, 1-1. We harp on this a lot, right? Opposing pitchers, the scouting report on Soufrain is he doesn't like to poke the ball the other way, so just pitch him outside. Here's the 1-1, fouled away. They went outside again, and he just tries to fight it off. The one time on Friday that they did give him something to hit, he mashed it 410 feet to dead center.
And he's so much more than just this big, imposing bat. He's provided such great protection for the guys in the lineup before him.
1-2. Big cut and miss and a breaking ball in the dirt, and that'll end the inning. 1 run, no hits, 1 left. And we go to the second inning of play. Wildcats 1, Jacksonville 0, here on the CatEye Network. Abdiel Delgado leads things off in the second for the Jacksonville Dolphins. Wildcats have a 1-0 lead here at the Jack. And Corey, the first pitch, skips it in there. And it goes all the way past Escobar to the backstop. Corey's got some good stuff. The 1-0 hit high in the air, foul territory, left-hand side. That will make the bleachers. But it's just not consistently there. so far in this start, and we were told by Coach Hernandez he's only going 2 innings just to get him a little bit of a run out before he is slated to get one of the weekend starts in the first conference series against Mississippi Valley. So trying to get through the first 2 innings unscathed. A 2-1, the pitch. Shot foul, right at home plate, 2-2. It's Daniel Gaviria is playing ball boy tonight.
Yeah, as does the whole rotation. They switch out throughout the weekend.
The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. They'll be in Jackson, Mississippi, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a 3-game set. The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Corey. And there's a man aboard with nobody out. Not being played in Ida Benner, they're playing at an old minor league ballpark in Jackson. Along with Alcorn and Grambling out of the West also playing a series there. So should be an interesting weekend of SWAC baseball.
Some weather concerns coming their way, so we'll see what the schedule looks like by the time we get there for sure.
First pitch, slider strike to Connor Spellman, the freshman batting 111. 3 runs on 2 hits, a double and 1 RBI. Back-to-back freshmen in the lineup, Delgado hitting .340 as a freshman. Pitch. Big cut and miss at a fastball that ran down and in to the right-handed hitter Spellman, and it's quickly 0-2. Wouldn't be surprised to see Corey go back to that slider away here. Got the 1 strikeout in the first with it. And he just tried to blow a fastball by him. Chopped towards short, could be 2. On to second for 1. They will not get the double play at first, so it's a fielder's choice for Spellman. Delgado is out on the base pass.
Delgado's slide there is probably what ended up preventing the double play. It wasn't anything dirty about the slide, but he kind of obstructed Colton Olison a little bit, and as a result, Spellman is able to make it down to first.
It's one of those plays that's on the edge of what's in the rule book, but everybody does it. Now here is Blake Edmonds, the lefty. Big cut and miss at that 12-6 curve. First time we've seen that from Corey tonight. Just broke way away from him. With Spellman on first and 1 down. Second pitch, a fastball strike at the knees. The fastball is starting to find a home in the zone here in the second inning for Corey.
Throwing it mostly on the lower half of the plate so far.
He's gotten a couple of soft ground balls towards short. Pitch. Rifled back up the middle. Caught on a line by Villafane as he moved to his left. Beautiful play.
And it looked like it was a lot harder hit off the bat and kind of just died out immediately once it got past the pitcher's mound. Nice job by Villafane. Nice instincts to go track it down because that could have very easily snuck by him.
And now with Spellman on first and 2 down, here's Aiden Masters, the shortstop. He's got the lowest batting average of anybody in this Jacksonville starting roster at just .067. First pitch, a strike on the inside corner to the righty. Only 15 at-bats, no runs, a hit. That was a double and 1 RBI. Corey's 0-1. Ground ball slowly chopped toward third and will go foul. What a start to the game it's been for Jamie Villafane at short. Got a put out in the first. And then has responsible for both so far in the second. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs 1-2.
Yeah, Villafane is a guy whose defense leads to success at the plate. I think you see that a lot the other way around where guys will start to pick it up on the defensive side of the ball when they are succeeding at the plate. Not true for Villafane.
Ground ball towards third, deep in the hole, fielded by Vasquez all the way to first. A beauty! And the Wildcats get out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. To the bottom of the second we go here at the Jack. 1-0 Bethune-Cookman over Jacksonville. Second inning of work for Blake Barquin. And Jorge Gonzalez Febo comes to the plate. Gonzalez Febo did not feature in the 3-game series against Maine at the weekend. First pitch swinging, chops it foul down the third base side. Febo on the season, 154 hitters, 6 runs on 6 hits, a double, 2 homers, and 5 RBI. And a breaking ball strike pops out of the catcher's mitt, but it's 0-2.
Gonzalez Fabo dealing with a little bit of, nagging injuries, lower half, just kind of recuperating that on the fly.
0-2, outside. Spellman tried to frame it, but it is ball 1. Righty to righty into the windup from Barkin. And it's in the dirt, ball 2. Scoreboard says 3-1, but it's 2-2 because that second pitch was called a strike. Barkin delivers. Breaking ball, chop foul at home plate. Count holds 2-2.
And the continued evolution of Gonzalez Fabo at the plate is a fun one to watch. Started off with a lot of big uppercut swings after he hit the home run in his first plate appearance. Seen him kind of modify that a little bit, go away from it a little bit. It's very much still there at times.
Way outside, the count runs full.
He will certainly be a big bat that the Wildcats hope can mature into an outstanding middle of the order hitter by the end of the season.
Full count delivery, chop foul into the Wildcat bullpen third base side, and we will hold again. This is the first time the Jacksonville Dolphins have played a game in Florida that is not at home. And the 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. Got him. Fastball in the dirt. And it's 2 straight strikeouts for Barquin across the inning break. And here's Irvin Escobar. So they played 14 straight. 13 straight because they had 1 game canceled at home at John Chesson Stadium to start the season. Then went out to California to play Cal State Fullerton in 1 series, and then are back here to play Bethune-Cookman. The 0-1 is in the dirt to Irvin Escobar, 1-1. Escobar this season has been in and out of the lineup, but he's batting .409 in limited appearances. 1-1. Low and outside, 2-1.
Got to give credit to a guy like Escobar, too. It's not easy to stay on top of your game when you're not getting the starts night to night. He's been kind of in spot duty, kind of platooning down there at the plate, and he's done outstanding when he's been given the call.
Head in the count 2-1, and he grounds one softly back to Barkin. He'll underhand it to first, and there's 2 away.
Barkin's had his work cut out for him on the mound so far. Had to make a handful of fielding plays, but no issues for him.
Now quickly 2 away, and here is another player that's been deputizing in and out of the lineup, Peter Vasquez, making his 8th start of the year, batting .261, a run on 6 hits, and 6 RBI. First pitch to Vasquez, golfed high in the air to left. Going back, Edmonds, track, wall. It bounces over the wall. It's a ground rule double. How do you like that?
Well, I thought the way that Edmonds was running on that ball that he had that thing might be over the wall, but I think the reality was he had really no idea whether it's kind of the soft lighting in the sky we're seeing right now in that dusk that he maybe lost it. I'm not sure, but he never once had that ball tracked.
No. But that was very Vladimir Guerrero-esque from Peter Vasquez. That ball was maybe 6 inches off the plate.
Not something you'd expect to see from
and he went down
a guy like that.
He went down and got it and golfed it deep to left. And now with 2 down, there's a runner in scoring position for Colton Olison, who's had his offensive struggles this year. First pitch to him, breaking ball low, 1-0. He's batting .139. 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 doubles, and 6 RBI. He's under 200 slugging, the only batter in the Cats lineup that has a number that low. For a second pitch, a strike that broke in on the hands.
And I think it's interesting. We were told very clearly by Coach Hernandez that it would be just 2 innings for Corey, but the bullpen hasn't really. We have Dudones down there kind of starting to get stretched out, but he's not working very quickly. So we may very well see Corey for another one.
The 1-1. Breaking ball foul right at home plate. And it may be a pitch count thing too. They may have put him like, oh, you're throwing 40 pitches or whatever, and as long as you don't go over that, you can keep going because those first 2 innings went pretty quickly. 1-2, 2-out runner on second. Olison trying to extend a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats. And he grounds one softly towards first. Foul ball. We'll do the 1-2 again.
Olson, a guy who raised his average from around 75, nearly doubled it over the weekend, especially with a nice performance on Saturday. Finally kind of finding his footing in the batter's box, which is a welcome sight to see in that 9-hole for sure. A guy who's set the table a lot for this team in his tenure here.
The 1-2. Line drive, base hit to left field. Rounding third and coming home is Vasquez. Here's the throw. It's not going to go to the plate. They're just going to try and keep Olison from a double. It's an RBI single for Colton, and it's 2-0 Wildcats.
And just like that, that is the Colton Olson that this Wildcats team is used to seeing. A guy who's been, despite hitting out of that 9-hole, one of the best clutch hitters, one of the best table setters. Right there, he doubles your lead at 2-0.
And with 2 outs, the Wildcats use a ground rule double and a single to take the lead. And the back to the top of the order with Jamie Villafane. They check Olison over at first. He slides back in. Villafane was hit by a pitch, stole second, and then scored on 2 straight sacrifices in the first inning to give the Wildcats their opening run of the game. First pitch to him is hit off the end of the bat, foul into the Budweiser bullpen down the right field line. And you were mentioning the cold, like that first game against FIU was down to the 40s. We're bundled up back here broadcasting it, but it is beautiful out here tonight. The 0-1. Runner goes, throw down to second. Colton now caught in a rundown as he only half committed. He goes to second, back to first, still in that rundown. A bobble from the second baseman. They're still chasing him, and now he's going to be tagged out, and that ends the inning. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about that one, but we will talk about it when we come back. 1 run, 2 hits, nobody left. And we go to the third right here on the CatEye Network. Wildcats with a 2-0 lead. We go to the top of the third. Wildcats with a 2-0 lead over the visiting Jacksonville Dolphins. Tanner Zellum, the third baseman, steps into the batter's box. And the first pitch is low. 1-0. Joel Corey is still on the mound. So, despite saying, Coach Hernandez rather saying it was going to be only 2 innings, he makes a nice defensive play on a chopper right back to him and throws out Zellum. So there's one away. Both pitchers getting some defensive reps in tonight. And we're back to the top of the order with Will Gale.
Now batting for the Dolphins, Will
Gale grounded out to short his first time up. I said we'd talk about that rundown to end the top of the last inning, and it almost looked like Olison wanted to steal but slipped halfway there and just couldn't make it.
Has to be the only real explanation because otherwise it wasn't much of a competitive run over there to second.
Second time through the order for Corey. Ground ball to second. First pitch from Gale. Olison scoops that one up and fires across. Quickly 2 away on 3 pitches.
And he came into the inning on 36 pitches so far, which is kind of what you expect when his inning limit is 2, like it's around where you would hope 2 innings are. But he's earned himself a chance to continue on as a little bit more activity starts to heat up in the bullpen.
I would not be surprised if we see Dylan Dudonis next inning. First pitch on the way. Fastball outside. 1-0 to Justin Nadeau, who has the only Dolphin hit. The ground rule double in the first inning, deep to left, and he grounds one towards third, and it's into the glove, over to first. Oh, what a play by Vasquez! He dove, he grabbed to his knees, and he fired across in time. Nothing for the Dolphins in the third, thanks to some beautiful Wildcat defense, and the Wildcats take a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the third here on the CatEye Network. So Jamie Villafane will lead off the third after ending the second in the batter's box after Colton Olison was caught in a rundown. And the first pitch to him, swinging strike at a breaking ball 0-1. Villafane once again was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored on 2 sacrifices in the first. Bounced to the plate, 1-1. A rare trip away from John Sessions Stadium for Jacksonville. Big cut and miss, and it's 0-2. Played 13 straight home games to start the year, then went out to Fullerton, California. Here's a 1-2, low and inside, 2-2. Played 3 against Cal State Fullerton and lost 12-2, 13-2, and 15-3. So not a great trip for the Dolphins out to Cali. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball first base side, foul. And the count holds 2-2 on Villafane. Jamie, the senior transfer, looks at the 2-2, low 3-2 as the ball pops out of Spellman's glove. A couple of those early on in this one where both catchers have had some difficulty controlling those pitches. Hasn't come back to bite anybody yet. Here's the 3-2. Big cut and miss on a changeup upstairs, and Villafane goes down swinging. The Wildcats may have 2 runs, but that's the 3rd strikeout for Barquin. And now here's Garrett Chun, who grounded out back to the pitcher and was one of those 2 sacrifices that got Villafane home in the first. Big cut and miss at a fastball outside. John, the senior from Jacksonville, he laces one to left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And Garrett Chun continues his hot start to the season.
And that's the Chun we've been used to seeing for the first couple weekends. Was quiet last week in a bit, but now rounding back into form with just a textbook hit right up the middle.
Here's Sergio Rivera that technically has an RBI already as he ground out to third, allowed Villafane to score in the first. 1 out is Chun on first after his single. Wildcats up 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. He squares to Bunt. He puts it down the third base line. It's a beauty, and there's no play anywhere for Zellum as he charged it.
And these are the opportunities we've seen the Wildcats take so much advantage of early on in this season. When defensive miscues are made, when opportunities on the base pass are presented, they have hurt other teams. And we kind of saw them struggle a little bit, maybe in the Northwestern series with runners in scoring position like this. This is the opportunities. Despite the 2-0 lead, you need to step on throats and take advantage.
Now with one down and runners on second and first, here's Gonzalez looks at a changeup low in the dirt that Spellman has to scramble for, and it is 1-0. Gonzalez walked and was stranded on first in the first. You talk about leaving guys on base. The Wildcats left 13 on the paths in the series closing loss to Maine on Sunday, up and in ball two. And I think half of those were in scoring position as well. They left the bases loaded twice. The 2-0 is golf toward left field. That is going to be caught on a line by Edmonds moving to his left. Runners stay put, and there's two away.
And that's back-to-back hard contact for the Wildcats. That generally spells the beginning of the end if you can maintain it for a long time and get into the bullpen, which is that message that Coach Hernandez has preached time and time and time again.
Well, here's Manny Sufrain, 2 on, 2 out. He struck out his first time up. Let's see what Barquin has for the big lefty this time. Pitch. Ground ball towards third and just barely foul. I think if Manny Suprain learns to just take that outside pitch, squeeze it through the second or a shortstop third gap for singles, he's going to be a much more well-rounded and a much more dangerous hitter than he currently is. And I'm saying that about the reigning SWAC hitter of the week. And someone who is batting nearly 300. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. The other thing Sufrain's done a lot is draw walks. He's been walked 19 times this season.
You know, you say a 3 true outcome guy, but the strikeouts haven't really been particularly high. I mean, he's struck out 13 times, but hasn't been feast or famine to that, respect.
1-1 was outside, so it is 2-1. Chun on second, Rivera on first after back-to-back singles. Here's the pitch. Low 3-1. And Barquin is just so scared of what could happen if he leaves one over the middle against Sufrain. He's scared to touch the zone. Almost everything's been in the outside batter's box. Here's the 3-1. Check swing, outside ball, 4 bases juiced with 2 down. And here's Jorge Gonzalez-Febo, who also struck out his first time up.
Big spot for Gonzalez-Febo, who's working his way back into the lineup after, being banged up here and there to start the season. Got to take advantage.
This is another guy we know has supreme power after he crushed the second pitch he saw in his college career over the scoreboard in left field against Stonehill all the way back in February. First pitch to him, breaking ball, swing and a miss. He wants the moon every time he takes the bat off his shoulder, does Fabo. And has struggled with some off-speed stuff this season. The 0-1. Another off-speed pitch, chop foul 0-2. Chun on third, Rivera on second, Sufrain on first, 2 down. Wildcats trying to increase a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Barquin a strike away from getting out of it. He deals. Another breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Same exact pitch all 3 times, and the Wildcats leave the bases loaded. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left, and we go to the fourth. It's 2-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. Joel Corey still on the mound for Bethune-Cookman as we head to the fourth inning. Wildcats with a 2-0 lead. And Tyler Henriquez leads off. Joel Corey, after Coach Hernandez said he was only going to go 2 innings, he's now into the fourth. But to be fair, he's only given up 1 hit.
And I think in many respects, it's kind of the same approach we saw from Coach Hernandez for Corey last weekend, or last Tuesday, I should say. I don't think the plan was ever necessarily for him to go deep into a game, just being a freshman, trying to get, a taste, but he's just continued to impress so much. How can you take him out?
First pitch to Enriquez, slider tails away, ball 1. Enriquez was the first strikeout victim for Corey in the first, which was the second out of that inning. Second pitch, low, ball 2. And that one, he pumps the fastball in at the knees, 2-1. Enriquez, the junior, as there's a strike 2-2. From Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. Transfer from both Ball State and then St. John's River State. The 2-2. Outside and low, 3-2. Corey completely misses his spot there. Count runs full. Full count, over-rotated, ball 4 in the dirt. And that's the second walk issued by Corey in the game.
Certainly looked a little bit of everything as far as the freshman experience goes, but still up over 41 pitches now. You start to wonder if he really is going to be tabbed for a rotation spot this weekend. How much longer can he go before you worry about the fatigue that may set in, especially when you're talking about SWAC play that is now meaningful?
First pitch, a breaking ball strike to the outside of the lefty, Josh Steidel, who flew out to left to end the first inning in his first trip to the plate. Steidel, big cut miss at a breaking ball, 0-2. Josh, a junior from Boca Raton, played his entire career for the Dolphins after a high school career at North Broward Prep. Here's the 0-2. Low, 1-2. Steidel batting .320. One of only 2 players on this Jacksonville roster tonight to start every game he's appeared in, all 15 of them. Pitch outside, 2-2.
And may I just say, it is outstanding that the sun is just now finally setting here at about 8 o'clock. Daylight savings is so good for baseball.
The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. And we got the Daytona Tortugas. 28 days till opening day. I was talking to one of the grounds crew here before the game. Spring training wraps up around the state of Florida and out in Arizona in the Cactus League. Full count delivery to Steidel. Corey deals. Runner goes. Big cut and miss. They throw down to second. It's not in time. So Steidel strikes out. Henriquez is on to second with a stolen base. There's one away, and here's Abdiel Delgado.
Right fielder number 9. Corey hasn't really looked phased by runners on base thus far in his outing today.
And the BCU dugout was barking that should have been batter interference on the throwdown. And now the referees, I'm still in basketball mode, umpires are going to come and discuss it as a threesome in front of the pitcher's mound. I didn't really see it.
It's tough to say, and it's also one of those things where, we see a lot of these conversations, and as the call is made that he will be safe, you can't really do a whole lot when you're limited without replay and whatever else. So you kind of just do your due diligence, show coach, yeah, we discussed it, but no dice.
So now it's Abdiel Delgado, the freshman from Miami, who walked his first time up and was ruled out on a fielder's choice by Spellman. First pitch up and away, ball 1. Delgado, a product of Miami Springs High School, second pitch low, and it's 2-0. Just a little bit of inconsistency finding the strike zone from Corey has put him in the now two situations where he's had runners on in the game. The 2-0. Breaking ball, that's a massive cut and miss from Delgado. He wanted all of that one, and it just dropped away from him.
Way out in front of that ball. Never had a chance.
That time he goes and dials up the fastball low and away, gets another swing and miss, and the count's 2-2.
That fastball's not flat by any means, too. Some nice movement on that one. Gets the big swing and a miss.
Runner on second, one down. Pitch in the dirt, count runs full. Delgado is the first member of his family to graduate from high school and is now playing ball at the college level. With Henriquez on second, the 3-2. Big cut and a foul away. We'll do it again. So the first two batters of this inning have gone to full counts.
Delgado certainly liked a lot of what he's seen from Corey. Just hasn't been able to connect with anything.
Full count delivery. Rung him up on the inside corner, strike three. And that was that fastball that tailed a little bit in. And it just caught the inside corner.
And I think that one must have kind of broken away, broken more inside, I should say, after it left the strike zone. And it looked much more like a questionable call, I think. But either way, Corey is rewarded.
Now with two down, chopped softly foul down the third base line from Connor Spellman, who reached on the fielder's choice in the second, his first time at the plate. Spellman, one of the few players on this team that played against the Wildcats at the Jack last year. Nadeau, another one, Seidel, the third. Everybody else new to this Wildcats team. Didn't see him last year, at least here at the Jack. And the 0-1. Excuse me, swing, but that's a fair ball. It's almost a swinging bunt. It rolls foul down the third base line, and the Wildcats are a little bit lucky on that one.
Yeah, I don't think there was any chance, even if Corey had fielded that right away and not waited for it to roll foul. I don't think there's any way they beat out the runner on that one.
So now it's an 0-2 count on Spellman, the freshman from Oviedo. Local kid, Haggerty High School. Corey trying to get out of the jam. Here's the pitch. Catcher sets up away. It's a breaking ball that tails into the opposite batter's box, 1-2. Just trying to get a swing from Spellman. Henriquez staring in from second base after a leadoff walk. The pitch. Fastball up and away, 2-2. And this is something that has plagued the Wildcats. I mentioned it earlier. You get up in a count 0-2, and then you just try and nibble. And eventually it's 2-2 and 3-2, and you're facing a pressure pitch. The 2-2. Breaking ball outside, 3-2.
And you certainly don't mind the nibbling if you're up in the count 0-2. You want to try to go for a swing, force the batter to approach it defensively like that. But now you're forced to make a pitch once you do it again at 2-2. 2-2.
3-2. Inside ball four. And from 0-2, Spellman walks, and there's 2 on with 2 out.
And unfortunately for Corey, not a whole lot to think about on that final pitch there. Way inside, had to kind of jump back out of the way.
Now here's Blake Edmonds, who had that soft line out to short in the second. We'll have a meeting of the minds on the mound as the entire Wildcat infield will discuss what to do about it. Henriquez is on second after a leadoff walk, then 2 straight strikeouts of Steidel and Delgado, and then a walk to Spellman after Corey was ahead in the count 0-2. Wildcats nursing this 2-0 lead after leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the third and not getting anything out of it. And you know as well as I do, Bryce, at this level of college baseball, especially when you get into conference play, there's going to be some high-scoring affairs. First pitch, big cut and miss. He went back to the slider and got a swing.
I think the fact that that last meeting on the mound was just between players and not coaches is particularly interesting. A lot of trust in the freshman on the mound to figure it out. Let his guys give him the juice he needs to finish this off.
0-1 in the dirt, corralled by Escobar. 1-1. It's just the tad bit of inconsistency from Corey. It hasn't come back to hurt him just yet, but there are 2 on, 2 out here. Corey checks the runners. Now the righty from the stretch. And it's inside, almost hit Edmonds. 2-1 the count. Edmonds, a sophomore from Oak Brook, Illinois, and Hinsdale Central High School.
And the further we get in this AB from Corey and this outing overall, I think you're really going to start to see the length tested. And I think that's where you get from a good start to a solid starter.
Big cut and miss, and he went back to the breaking ball. And Edmonds doesn't really know what to do with it as he fans through it again. Now 2-2. 2 down, 2 on. The pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, 3-2. So every batter in this inning, all 5 of them, have gone to 3-2 counts.
Seems like a recipe for this to be the final inning of work for Corey, but still not super exciting over in the Bethune-Cookman bullpen just yet.
The full count delivery. Big swing and a miss! And the players in the dugout will race out to high five Joel Corey. He strikes out the side, works around a pair of walks, and the Wildcats still lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to BCU Baseball right here on the CatEye Network. Irvin Escobar leads things off for the Cats here in the bottom of the 4th. They've got a 2-0 lead over the Jacksonville Dolphins. First pitch, a ball from Barquin. And the righty works quickly and misses low 2-0. Escobar, one of the greatest success stories that the Wildcats had last year, especially into the conference tournament. Was named all-tournament catcher on the all-tournament team. The 2-0 upstairs 3-0. And that was after a regular season where he didn't even really see the field consistently. He was, part of the rotation at catcher. There's a strike down the middle, 3-1.
And, being a catcher collegiately, you're not used to that workload that you see at the professional level, and a lot of it is still guys working in. As he's got more and more used to platooning, he's been better.
Ground ball, third base side foul. Count runs full 3-2.
Guy who's really leaned into his role and been a big-time leadership piece on this team as well as on the field.
Full count delivery from Barquin inside and hit him. And so Escobar, the leadoff man aboard, and here's Peter Vasquez, who hit the ground rule double and came around to score in the second.
I don't know what's in the water here in Daytona, but the hit by pitches in the last 3 games I think need to relax a little bit. We've just seen far too much of it for my liking.
Even on Sunday, as I look back in my notes, the Wildcats walked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and 3 of those were hit by pitches, even in the 6-3 loss. First pitch strike to Vasquez, the lefty.
I mean, you're talking about upwards of 20 in the last 3 games. Of course, most of those came from the one disastrous night on Saturday, but still, I think we need to dial that back.
Spin it a throw back to first. Escobar dives in safely. Wildcats rounding out their pre-conference schedule tonight. They'll travel to Mississippi to play Mississippi Valley State. Runner goes, swing, chop towards second base. They'll play at second. They'll just go to first. The runner comes off the bag, but he gets the tag, and Vasquez is out. So a little bit lucky there, as that was a wild throw from Nadeau at second, but it still works out for them.
Yeah, the hit and run, fortunately for the Wildcats, does result in avoiding a potential double play. It would have been a tough play probably regardless, just because of how slow a bouncing ball that was. But the Wildcats stay with options here with only one away.
Now 1 down and a runner at second. Here's Colton Olesen. First pitch, a fastball strike down the middle, 0-1. Olesen singled in Vasquez his first time up, and that was caught stealing in a rundown where he slipped on his way to second. That ended the second inning. Ground ball, shortstop side, fielded by Masters, cross the diamond, skips it to first in time for out number 2, and that holds Escobar at second. It was first pitch swinging from Colton. Second pitch swinging, mind you.
You know, four runners left on for both sides, and 4 hits for BCU to 1 for Jacksonville. It's really felt like the Wildcats have been in control in a lot of this game, but you don't want to let that prevent you from taking advantage of runners in scoring position.
Back to the top of the order, Jamie Villafane takes a first pitch low ball 1. Third time through the order now for the Wildcats here in the 4th inning. Villafane was hit by a pitch and scored in the first, and then struck out in the third. That's a line drive, but just fouled down the first base line. Man, there's been a couple of those. About 5 or 6 sinks to the right down the first base line, and you've got a couple more doubles and a couple more runs for the Wildcats. Still lead 2-0. After the leadoff hit by pitch, Escobar stands in there at second. But 2 straight groundouts are giving the Dolphins 2 outs in the inning. This one's popped foul out of play from Vasquez, 1-2 the count. Excuse me, Villafane is at the plate. It's the tall righty Barkin against the short right-handed hitter Villafane. And Barkwin from the stretch deals. Chop foul will do the 1-2 again. You mentioned it last inning, Bryce. Most of the Wildcats' contact have been foul balls. There haven't been a lot of pure swings and misses.
It's one of those things you figure eventually turns into contact that you can take advantage of, but hasn't quite done that just yet.
The 1-2. Ground ball slowly toward the third base side. Charging is Zellum across the diamond. Skips it in there. And the Wildcats will go quietly after the first batter hit by pitch. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the 5th inning. Moving swiftly here at the Jack tonight. 2-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. To the fifth inning we go, and Aiden Masters, who made the putout to end the bottom of the fourth for the Wildcats, will get first hacks here in the fifth for the Dolphins. Grounded out his only time to the plate at ended the second inning. And Joel Corey is still on the mound for the Cats. His first pitch is laced to left field. That's going to be a base hit as it hops in front of Chun. First pitch swinging from Masters, and for the second inning in a row, the leadoff man is on for Jacksonville.
And although not a welcome sight with the leadoff base hit here, I will say it's been refreshing so far tonight to see a tightly played game like this that hasn't been back and forth, runs scored throughout the early innings, and just kind of a slugfest like this. It's been nice to see a well-played defensive pitching matchup for once.
Squaring to bunt and fouling it straight back is Tanner Zellum. The ball gets caught up in the net right in front of our broadcast position, and it's 0-1. Corners will play in for the Wildcats as Zellum tries to bunt Masters from first to second after the leadoff single and set up the top of the order. Corey deals, squaring to bunt, pulling it back, strike two, as that ball went right down the middle. And now if you're Zellum, you've got to be careful to prevent bunting this foul and going quietly for the first out. Vasquez at third plays back. They check over to first. Masters slides in safely. It is now fully dark here in Daytona Beach as the sun has sank behind the western horizon. The 0-2. Swung on, laced toward third. That's a fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the corner. Rounding second is Masters. He's going to come all the way around third as the ball gets by Chun to the wall. It's a RBI triple for Tanner Zellum, and it's 2-1 Wildcats.
And that's a tough break, particularly for the starter Corey, because with the quickness with which Garrett Chun got over on that ball, I thought he would have been able to make a competitive throw in that would have prevented the run from advancing all the way to home. But now he's saddled with an earned run off of the triple.
Yeah, and then that ball just barely went over the third base bag and ended up hitting that chain link fence that's between the left field foul area and the clubhouse all the way down the left field line. Took an odd hop away from him. First pitch, a strike at the knees to Will Gale as we're back to the top of the order. But Aiden Masters, who that was his second hit of the season. So his two hits has been a double and a triple, and they both have RBIs attached to them. Other than that, he's batting 67.
And between the turf, the strange wall angles, the massive outfield here, sometimes it does feel like you're playing pinball out there with the directions the balls can skip out here. Not easy.
The 1-1 fouled away 1-2. Zellum, standing on third after tripling it. Aiden Masters, who led off the inning with a single. 1-2 from Corey. Missed his spot upstairs, 2-2. And this is very similar to how the game of the Jack between these two teams went last year. The Wildcats jumped out to an early lead, but the Dolphins came all the way back and took a lead in the middle innings that they never relinquished. The pitch. In the dirt, 3-2. Infield in, maybe to try and cut off Zellum at home. The pitch, chopped foul, straight back. We'll do the 3-2 again.
It'd be a big confidence boost for a freshman to get out of this inning with just the one run allowed.
Still no outs in the inning after the two hits from Jacksonville. Another foul ball right at home plate. We'll do the 3-2 again. Wildcats just clinging to this 2-1 lead. Here's the pitch from Corey. It's grounded foul outside of third. And this at-bat continues. This will be the fourth full count delivery from Corey to Gale.
Went for the high fastball there. Tried to blow it by. May try it again here.
He winds and fires. Went for the low fastball this time and got a swing and miss, strike three.
And you could tell by the swing from Gale there, I think he was expecting it up in the zone and kind of had to do his very best to try to get the bat down there to make contact and stay alive. Couldn't do it. Nice pitch from Corey.
Now here's the best bat the Dolphins have. Justin Nato, the 404 hitter. Had a ground rule double in the first and was stranded on third after a fly ball from Josh Steindl. First pitch to him. Swing grounded towards first. Sufrain fields it himself. He's going to have to race to the bag and is safe, and a run scores. That ball took Sufrain so far off the bag that Nato was able to hustle down there for an infield single. It's an RBI, and it's 2-2.
And Sufrain tried to do his best job there to look the runner back to third, make him wait, then try to go over to first. But I think that confused the freshman Corey a little bit, so he wasn't as quick to get to the bag at first and back up, and so nobody's out.
Well, we got a tie game now, and still only one out in the inning. And if you want to put the first one on Corey, yeah, it was a big hit for the triple, but I'm not sure that one, even though it's going to be an earned run, I'm not sure that one really his fault. But either way, it's 2-2. A second check over to Nato at first. Hasn't still thrown a pitch to Tyler Henriquez yet. Henriquez struck out on the first, walked in the fourth, and was stranded on second as Corey K'd the side after that. First pitch, fastball strike down the middle, 0-1. And this will likely be the last inning of work for Joel Corey. And you wonder now if he is tapped to start over the weekend after throwing close to 100 pitches tonight. Up and in, 1-1. And it feels like all of the missed opportunities for the Wildcats, with 5 runners left on base in the last 2 innings, are coming back to bite them. Chop towards third, on to second for one, and that's all they'll get as Henriquez reaches on the fielder's choice. Nadeau out 5-4. And there's 2 away. And here's Josh Steindl.
And you had the one bad pitch that resulted in the triple down the line, but really Corey hasn't dropped off a ton, I don't think, since the early innings.
First pitch in there for a strike at the knees to Steindl. Flying out to shallow left in the first and then struck out in the fourth. And now they've got the runner in a rundown. They throw to second, but nobody's covering the bag. Oh, no, he got him. They got him with the tag. Whew. I thought nobody was covering the bag, but he was tagged out, was Tyler Henriquez. Going to go with the old caught stealing, and that's it. 2 runs, 3 hits, none left. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's now 2-2 here on the CatEye Network. Garrett Chun leads off for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 5th after the Dolphins plate 2 on 3 hits in the top of the inning to tie the ball game at 2. Blake Barquin still on the mound for the Dolphins. His first pitch is a curveball strike at the knees. And it's 0-1. Chun tonight grounded out to the pitcher on a swinging bunt his first time up, then singled and was stranded on third in the third. That one bounced to the plate, 1-2. That was the inning of the Wildcats left the bases loaded after Gonzalez Fabo struck out. Chun looking to set the table for the Cats here in the fifth, and check swing ball goes upstairs, 2-1. It's a busy week for the BCU athletic department this week with the men's basketball team going to the playoffs in Birmingham, breaking ball strike outside corner, 2-2. We are leaving out tomorrow, you and I, and we'll be in Birmingham for that late Thursday night game, the 2-2. Breaking ball, chopped softly towards short. Charging his Masters, barehanding, throwing to first for the out. And there's one down.
But before we do that, we'll have some softball in the morning tomorrow. So we are doing a little bit of everything as the dying breaths of crossover season are slowly approaching. But it should be a really fun week in Birmingham, no doubt about it. This is a Wildcats basketball team that thinks they have a shot along with everybody else. They're going to play like it. We'll be there covering it every step of the way.
It's been a wild and wide open basketball season on the men's side of the SWAC. Check swing fouled into the visiting dugout. First pitch to Sergio Rivera, and it's 0-1. The women's side, Jackson State, kind of runs the show over there, but ground ball, foul, first base side 0-2 to Rivera. Rivera, 1 for 2, had a bunt single in the third and grounded out in the first, but he has an RBI because his ground out scored Villafane from third. That one is lasered to left center, right in the gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Going to second is Rivera. He's going to third. Here comes the relay throw. It's not in time as he slides in safely. How about it? Sergio Rivera with a triple.
And a nice rebound after allowing the 2 runs in the top half of this inning. We've seen a lot of that resurgence from this Wildcats team after, I think, that Northwestern series. I know I've harped on that a lot, but there was a lot of down in the lineup, and they've done a good job of kind of getting back to innings like this and returning the favor, keeping shutout innings. It's a long way to go, but it's a great start as we approach conference play.
First pitch to Jose Gonzalez, in on the hand, strike one. Back to the last at bat, though. That ball was rocked. I'm not sure you could hit a ball harder than that. Right in the gap to left center. Second pitch to Gonzalez, the 0-1, is upstairs, 1-1. Gonzalez walked in the first and was stranded, and then flied out to shallow left in the third. I was with 2 on and 1 out. He golfs this one high in the air to center field. Going over Gale, he makes the catch. Tagging and coming home from third is Rivera. He will score, and the Wildcats take a 3-2 lead.
And that's a great example right there of just doing exactly what's needed to score the run. There's no reason to try to be a hero there. There's no reason to try to do anything differently there. Put one in the air, rewarded with an RBI.
And if the wind's not blowing so strongly in from center, that might have had a chance. That was hit pretty well. It was only about 5 steps short of the track when Gale caught it. Now Manny Suffrain takes a big hack and miss at a first pitch breaking ball, 0-1. Suffrain 0 for 1 with a walk back in the third. Struck out his first time up. And he watches ball 1 low and outside on the opposite batter's box, 1-1. 1-1. Inside, but caught the plate. 1-2. We talked about softball and basketball, but of course baseball is back at it on Saturday with Friday. That one's low, and the count 2-2. With their first conference series of the year, they travel to Mississippi Valley State. 2-2, 2 outs to Suffrain. Breaking ball misses low, as a couple of the Jacksonville players started to run off the field. Thought that was the end of the inning, 3-2. Barquin trying to get out of it. And he fouls it off his foot, does Sufrain, and we'll see another 3-2 pitch. Mississippi Valley, not one of the teams expected to be competitive in the Eastern Conference this year, them and Alabama A&M, but the other four teams, just like last year, BCU, FAMU, Jackson State, and Alabama State, should be an interesting ride. Ball 4 in the dirt, and Sufrain works a nice walk. One aboard with 2 down.
Talking about Mississippi Valley State, it's still very much a difficult trip to make, no matter where that program is as far as success goes. It's a tough spot to play, especially this weekend in a different location, looking at some potential weather coming in. Still the early part of SWAC play, so you're still figuring yourself out as a team. It's a tough one.
Well, this is not head coach Chris Hayes that's come out to talk to Barquin. This is Colby Bortles, the assistant coach. His first season with the program, but we will have a pitching change. So that is the end for Blake Barquin as he goes 5 2/3, gives up 3 runs.
I believe this is Tommy Allman who will take over on the mound. It is.
Tommy Allman, the junior from Farmington Hills, Michigan, and has played his entire career for the Dolphins. I remember Allman played in this ballpark last year against Bethune-Cookman. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on Shop. This will be the 4th appearance of the season for Allman. In 12 innings pitched, he's given up 14 runs on 18 hits, all earned. Struck out 14, walked 10. Has given up 5 doubles, no triples, and 6 home runs. His opponents were Cincinnati on February 16th, Delaware on February 24th, and Valparaiso on March the 5th. His ERA is 10.50 after a tough outing against Delaware. We went 3 2/3, gave up 10 runs on 10 hits, all earned. Other than that, he's been pretty solid.
This is the part of the season where statistics, you can finally, I feel like, start to buy in a little bit statistically, whether it's batting average, ERA. Plenty of guys have only made a handful of appearances, and it's too tough. You don't think some guy's a consistent 10-plus ERA guy. But especially at the plate, now's the time you finally start to see that it's not just a slow start. It's not just a fast start. These are trends. These are the kind of hitters you can start to expect once we get deep into conference play.
First pitch. Slow breaking ball catches the inside part of the plate to Jorge Gonzalez Febo. Febo struck out twice, both times swinging. Left the bases loaded in the 3rd. Now he's got a runner on first with 2 down after the walk to Sufrain. Breaking ball hammered to left center. That one's going to head down and head to the wall. Sufrain lumbers around second. He's going to go to 3rd. Coach Hernandez puts the stop sign up, and it's a double for Jorge Gonzalez Febo. And there's runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 down.
I was going to make the point after that first pitch that breaking ball is not a bad one, but if it's in the wrong spot, it's slow enough and has a consistent enough break to it, north to south, that it's can be a bit of a hanger. And right there, that one was middle, and credit to Gonzalez Fable, he puts it right where he wants to, out there in the gap in left center.
And that's a better piece of hitting by Gonzalez Febo. He didn't load up on it, try and tomahawk it over the fence, just sat back, took what the pitcher gave him, and hit a double to left field.
That's a ball that I would very much expect that big uppercut swing from it. But no, you're absolutely right. He did a nice job of doing what he needed to do with that ball.
First pitch, a ball outside, missed with the fastball to Irvin Escobar. Here's a big spot for Irvin. Grounded out to the pitcher his first time up, was hit by a pitch his second, and was stranded on second after 3 straight groundouts. And he hits this one high in the air, but foul into the Budweiser bullpen down the right field line, 1-1. And the Wildcats do not want to leave more runners in scoring position. I've already left 5 on base in the game. Great breaking ball hit in the air to center field, going back Gale. He's tracking it and makes the catch, and the Wildcats come up empty again with runners in scoring position. They do get 1 run on 2 hits and 2 left, excuse me. And after the 5th inning of play, it's 3-2 Wildcats over Dolphins right here on the CatEye Network. As we head to the top of the 6th, there is a new pitcher for Bethune-Cookman. Dylan Dudonis is on the hill, the junior right-hander transfer from Florida State College of Jacksonville. He replaces Joel Corey, who went longer than we thought he would tonight and did a decent showing.
5 innings pitched for the true freshman. He allowed 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 5, but 90 pitches for him. So it'll be interesting to talk to Coach Hernandez if the Wildcats pull this one out and beyond about maybe if there was a change in the initial plan that we had for Corey, maybe if he worked his way into getting that full-length start, or maybe if that was all part of the plan and stretching him out to be a weekend guy.
First pitch from Dudonis is low to Josh Steindl, who was in the batter's box when Tyler Henriquez was caught stealing to end the 5th. That's a nice cutter that finds the inside part of the plate. 1-1. Dudonis last year at FSCJ at a 6.55 ERA in 31 appearances. That one, we're looking for a breaking ball, didn't get much break on it. Misses outside and high, 2-1. It's on an FSCJ team that went to the NCJA World Series. That one just barely misses outside, 3-1. Dudonis rocks, steals, misses outside ball 4, and he walks Steindl, the first batter he faces. And for the 3rd straight inning, the leadoff man is aboard for Jacksonville.
It's interesting. That cutter that Dudonis started the at-bat with was absolutely filthy. Steidl thought he was going to get hit by it, and it leaked back out on over the heart of the plate. It's interesting that we didn't see him go back to that pitch at any point because that thing was nasty.
Here's Abdiel Delgado, walked and was caught on the base paths in the 2nd and struck out in the 4th. First pitch to him, breaking ball, finds the heart of the plate for strike 1. Dudonis, another one of these guys that transferred in or is new to the program this year that has been really impressive in their midweek appearances. The 0-1, big cut and miss on a nasty breaking ball that ended up in the dirt, 0-2.
Jonas has a great mix of a little bit of everything. He's got the traditional curveball that kind of just moves laterally. He had the cutter that cuts inside to left-handers. That one broke, or excuse me, cuts outside to left-handers, and that one broke in on the lefty.
That one broke too much, hit the dirt, 1-2 the count. Escobar had to scramble to keep that in front of him and keep Steidl at first base. In his first outing of the season against FIU, Dudonis went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 2, walked 1. And we all thought that maybe he could be pitching his way into a midweek spot, or a weekend spot, excuse me. A 1-2. Grounded back up the middle towards short. They're going to go with the fielder's choice again as Villafane moves to his left, scoops it to Olison. That's the third time we've seen a fielder's choice started by Villafane in the game, and there's one away.
It's interesting that we didn't see Dudonis at any point over the weekend. There were a lot of nights where you could have used kind of an arm to calm down things, especially on Saturday when things got out of hand a little bit after taking the week off after the Florida start. A little bit interesting that we hadn't seen him in a minute, but he's looked fairly sharp to start this outing.
First pitch, breaking ball strike to Connor Spellman. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second, walked in the fourth, so he's been on base both times.
Breaking balls to start every batter thus far.
And just like Allman for Jacksonville, who just came into the last inning, there's a fastball pounded in there in the mid-80s. 0-2. You got to be careful relying too much on that curveball, because if you lay it up there, it will get smashed.
That last pitch looked like it might have been that cutter again. It broke a little bit in on the righty towards the very tail end to keep it in the bottom half of that zone.
Dudonis the 0-2. Hit off the end of the bat, foul down the right field line. Moving over, Fabo, and he's going to watch it sail into the bullpen.
And that one was definitely the cutter again. I think that's been his best pitch so far tonight. It's just got a little bit of late movement, just enough to right there induce the weak contact.
And because the bullpen and the bullpen seats, little picnic areas out there, there's not a whole lot of foul ground to run into. Once again, we'll do the 0-2, righty to righty. Big swing and a miss on the cut fastball again. And down goes Spellman, 2 outs.
That pitches. He's cooking something with that one.
And I'll bring up Blake Edmonds with a runner on first and 2 down. If that fly ball that went into the bullpen seating on the last at bat, if that was hit to left field, you could argue that Chun might have had a play on it because there would be space to run into. They check the runner at first, and Delgado gets back safely. Just part of the odd dimensions here at the Jack, which we get that chain link fence that ate up Garrett Chun on that triple back in the 5th. Pitch. There's a strike right at the knees, 0-1 to Edmonds.
Wind has picked up a little bit over the last couple innings, blowing really strong and I think further out towards left center rather than maybe truly left when we started out here tonight.
And temperatures also dropped down to maybe the low 60s. It was about 68 to start the game. They check back to the runner at first again, and Delgado will slide back in.
Only South Florida kids feel it too. Some of them are pretty pathetic when it comes to the cold out here. They are not used to this.
I'll tell them you said that.
Oh, I'll tell them myself.
The 0-1, ground ball foul outside of first, and it's 0-2.
Should have seen when we were out here in fall ball, and it was really cold. These kids act like they've never seen it below 70 in their lives. It's kind of sad.
I came to some of those fall ball workouts, and I remember, even the game against FIU when it was down to the 40s.
I come out in the hoodie, and they look at me like I'm in shorts. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, guys, it's 65. Like, it's not that bad.
Well, the kids from FIU, I remember in that game, were all sorts of bundled up. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, popped up to the shortstop. Villafane gloves it. He's had an excellent game defensively, has Jamie Villafane, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Wildcats nursing a run 1 lead, 3-2 here at the Jack on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Wildcats trying to increase their 3-2 lead. Peter Vasquez will be the first to face Allman in this inning. And the first pitch is low, ball one. Tommy Allman, the junior. And this one is grounded right to the first base bag. Steidl takes it himself, one down. Gives Steidl the 3 unassisted. Allman, a 2-time state champion and 2021 high school national champion at Orchard Lake Mary Prep in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Of course, he's got his first 2 seasons of college ball, both at Jacksonville as well. First pitch, fastball strike down the middle to Colton Olison. Olison, an RBI single in the second, and then grounded out in the fourth. He's been seeing the ball better, has Colton. He fouls one straight back, and it's 0-2. And early in the season, I mean, he was on the bench some of the games, and we had Vasquez starting at second, which is the first time I'd ever seen Johnny bench Colton when he wasn't injured. Here's the 0-2, breaking ball in the dirt, 1-2.
Yeah, just trying to get him in the right headspace. Obviously, you know it's not a mental issue with Olison. It's just kind of a slow start. You want to avoid compounding that and leading to frustration.
The 1-2, hit off the end of the battle, flare to foul territory, sliding attempt by Steidl. He just missed the ball. And did he actually crash into the dugout there for Jacksonville? He might have.
I think he slid a little too early. I think he didn't quite make it there. It was a valiant effort. I mean, give him credit for trying it. A lot of guys will let that one bounce, but nearly came up with it.
Well, we'll do the 1-2 again. Olisman's made contact on all of his swings, 2 foul balls. And Coach Hernandez calls time, wants to talk it over with Colton. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. And for the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamond Cats on Twitter. One of the best names for any Twitter account in all of college sports. BCU Diamond Cats.
It looks like it's a trainer visit for Olison, kind of holding his left side. Can't quite tell if it's like an oblique back there or what, but he's going to step back in the box either way.
And he missed a fair amount of time in the middle of last season after getting hurt in a non-conference game up at UF in Gainesville. Tripped over the first base bag trying to stretch a single to a double.
Might have just swung a little too hard right there.
Here's the 1-2. Ground ball towards second base. Nadeau doesn't even have to move to fire that one across, 2 away. So 2 hard-hit grounders for the Wildcats, both right at defenders on the right-hand side of the infield, and now back to the top of the order for Jamie Villafane. Villafane hit by a pitch and scored his first time up on 2 sacrifices. Then he struck out and grounded out after that. First pitch, breaking ball, tipped into the glove on a check swing, and it's 0-1. Allman works very quickly, fires a fastball low and inside, 1-1. And Barquin, to start the game for Jacksonville, was very methodical, using all the pitch clock. Allman just wants to get by people. He's in his windup again. Here's the 1-1. Check swing, ball goes outside on a slider, 2-1.
He went to that curveball a lot when we saw him in his first half inning of work or so. Hasn't quite gone to it as much this time out, probably to his benefit.
The 2-1, squaring to bunt, dropping it down third base side, and there's no play at first. Villafane gets the second bunt single in the game for Bethune-Cookman.
And that's one thing this iteration of the Wildcats team has done that was not done last year is the utilization of the bunt for base hit or even sack bunt has been up and down this lineup. It's really been anybody and everybody has squared up to bunt at one time. It's a refreshing style of baseball to see in a world that doesn't really exist anymore, but they've made it work fairly well.
Spinning a throwback to first. Sliding in is Villafane. Here's Garrett Shun, 1 for 3. A single sandwich between two groundouts. Of course, had the sacrifice swinging bunt in the first to move Villafane over. They go back to first again to try and get Villafane. There's 2 outs in the inning. Wildcats have done the majority of their work at the plate today with 2 outs, including loading the bases back in the third. Unfortunately, not being able to scratch a run across. First pitch hammered towards short, and it is snagged beautifully by Masters. Cross his body with the glove over his shoulder, and that's the end of the inning. Inches away from a hit for Garrett Shun, but it just goes down as a line out, and we head to the top of the seventh. Wildcats still with a 1-run lead, 3-2 here on the CatEye Network. Dylan Dudonis begins his second inning of work on the mound for Bethune-Cookman. His first order of business is to face Aiden Masters, who singled and scored back in the fifth, came around on the Tanner Zellum triple. And the first pitch righty to righty is a slider that tails too far outside 1-0. The other time Masters was at the plate, he grounded out to third in the second. Udonis working quickly. Here's the 1-0. Fastball, chop foul right at home plate, 1-1.
And Dudones may have, if not the only true four-pitch mix on this staff, at least the most pronounced difference in the four-pitch mix. He's got, again, the lateral breaking curve. He's got the slider that breaks in on lefties. He's got the cutter that breaks in on righties, and then he's got the fastball.
The 1-1 was the cutter, grounded towards short field and deep in the hole by Villafane. Long throw across, and he got him.
Dudones just looked in command again. You know, he had a tough break against the number 4 team in the country at the time in Florida that kind of ballooned his statistics a little bit. But very much like we saw him back against FIU, has looked strong. I still wouldn't rule out that this is a guy that could potentially work his way into the weekend at some point.
Now here's the bottom of the order, Tanner Zellum, who has the loudest moment of the night for either team. That RBI triple, first pitch curveball misses inside 1-0. That scored Masters in the fifth. He came around to score on the Nadu single. That gave the Dolphins their 2 runs today. A fastball misses upstairs, 2-0. And a lot of times, pitching at the collegiate level is about getting ahead in counts. If you're ahead in counts, then you can start to work around the corners, try and force swings. Here's the 2-0. Upstairs and in 3-0.
When you start to talk about the difference between a starter and a reliever, a lot of times it's in that pitch mix. And a guy with 1 or 2 pitches is often relegated to the bullpen. But this is clearly a guy who's a lot more than a long inning relief guy, even when you get to tournament time.
3-0. There's a strike. Zellman was halfway out of the batter's box before home plate umpire Christopher Pittman raised his right arm. And the count 3-1. Dudonis. This is upstairs, ball 4, and that's his second walk issued. He walked Steitel to begin the last inning, his first batter faced. So a little bit of control issues for Dudonis, but other than that, he's been pretty good. Ground ball, strikeout, pop up, ground ball.
And a little bit of activity once again in that BCU bullpen. Patrick Gorkin stretched out over there. Nothing going in the Jacksonville pen.
bunted on a curveball foul. First pitch to Will Gale, back to the top of the order for Jacksonville. Gale 0 for 3, 2 groundouts, 1 to second, 1 to short, and a strikeout. Gale, the only senior in this starting lineup for Jacksonville tonight. The 0-1. Upstairs forces him to back away from it, and it's 1-1.
And something like 8 straight pitches has been the strategy with the last handful of guys at the plate.
Gale, a graduate student this year from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. First, there's the pitch. It's low and outside, ball 2 as Gale squared to bunt. Started his collegiate career at Seton Hall. One on, one out. Here in the top of the 7th, Wildcats clinging to a 3-2 lead, trying to win their second midweeker of the season. The 2-1. Runner goes. Here's the throw down to second. It is in time. And Zellum is out. What a throw by Escobar.
Really great sequence overall. You got the fastball from Dudones, gets in there quickly, puts Escobar in a nice spot to make the throw.
Count is 2-2, as that pitch was a strike as well. 2-2, 2 outs, and Dudones could quickly get out of this one. Here's the pitch. Try to catch the bottom of the zone. The Escobar frame job is not enough, and the count runs full. Dudones from the stretch. Low ball 4 and 2 walks in the inning for Dillon. And he was ahead in the count 2-2.
Kudos to Jacksonville for remaining patient.
And Escobar's going to trot out to talk to Dillon. And here's Justin Nadeau, who is 2 for 3, a ground rule double in the first, ground out in the third, and a single in the fifth, although he was caught out as part of a fielder's choice on the base paths that time.
And though it hasn't come back to crush Bethune-Cookman by any means tonight, 2-out base runners continue to be a bit of an issue for this team. Just haven't quite found a way to put guys away consistently.
Have only not allowed a base runner one time in the game. That was the 1-2-3 third on 3 straight groundouts. They go to first. Gale slides back in safely.
Nothing's going to keep you up at night quite like having clean base paths, 2 out, and then ending up in runs as a result of it.
They go back to first again. This is not the MLB where now you have to get him on a disengagement. Although I'm sure that rule may be coming to college baseball eventually. Finally, the first pitch to Nadeau. Fastball strike on the outside corner. Nadeau, the sophomore from St. John's, Florida, just up the coast from us, went to Bartram Trail High School. What a great athletic program that high school has. Football is always great. Soccer is always terrific. Baseball, fantastic. They go back to first again, and Gale slides in.
And you talk about rules that should come to the collegiate game. I'm all for the limit of throwovers to first. We've seen a lot of teams, including the Wildcats thus far this year, throw over 5, 6 times in an AB.
Pitch. Swung and chopped back toward the pitcher's mound. Off the mound, Dudones fires to first, and he gets out of the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats trying to improve on a 3-2 advantage right here on the CatEye Network. We go to the bottom of the seventh, still a one run lead, 3-2 for the Wildcats. Sergio Rivera leads off. He's 2 for 3, grounded out in the first, bunt single in the third, tripled and scored in the fifth, and he is the reason the Wildcats have this slim advantage. And the first pitch from Allman, breaking ball strike, way out in front of it, and it's 0-1. Allman working quickly, another breaking ball strike that Rivera was out in front of 0-2. Both of them have ended up in the dirt in front of the plate. Allman trying to get Rivera out of there. Did he get the check swing? Yes, he did. Catcher drops the ball, and the throw almost pulls Steindl off the bag, but he does get there. That was an adventurous strikeout, but it does go in the book as a K, one down.
It's important to not get too complacent if you're in the Wildcats offensively. One run lead is nothing to be comfortable with.
And now Jose Gonzalez, 0 for 2 with a walk, sharply hit to third. Great snag by Zellum. He throws across the diamond in time. That was first pitch swinging by Gonzalez, and there's quickly
Complacent.
And man, the
Complacent.
and man, the defensive plays on both sides of the diamond continue tonight. That was a terrific grab by Zellum. Sufrain now stands in, breaking ball strike at the knee, strike one. Jacksonville in a very competitive A-Sun conference as Coach Derek Cartaya will come out to talk to Manny Sufrain.
Cartaya is such a vocal guy at the the hitting coach spot, really on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. But we've seen a lot of meetings between he and batters throughout the course of the season. Just has such a great command on the scouting side of things, the game plan side of things. Does a complete job in his prep work. Has a great understanding of the locker room and the guys he's working with. He's been a revelation in many ways for this team.
2 outs in the inning, the 0-1. Big cut and miss from Sufrain, and the Dolphins, one strike away from getting the first 1-2-3 inning out of the Wildcats in the contest. And he's punched out Sufrain as well with a strike at the knees. 2 strikeouts and a ground ball on the first pitch. So 9-pitch inning for Tommy Allman. And we go to the 8th. 3-2 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. To the 8th we go. Wildcats with a 3-2 lead here at the Jack over the visiting Jacksonville Dolphins. Tyler Henriquez will stand in. He's technically 0 for 1 tonight. Walk and a fielder's choice are his other 2 at-bats, and was caught stealing on that fielder's choice in the 5th. Dylan Dudonis still on the hill for the Cats, starting his 3rd inning of work. That's a slider, just misses the outside corner, 1-0. You think if Dudonis can get through this inning cleanly and be set up Torres at the back end of the bullpen. That's a fastball low 2-0. We've also got someone else warming up out there.
It's Patrick Rourke, who's kind of accelerated his warm up lately.
There's a nice pitch in on the hands for a foul tip into the glove, 2-1. Jacksonville was picked third this year in a very competitive ASUN baseball conference. The 2-1 from Dodones popped sky high straight up, fading towards the left side, and it's dropped by Escobar. He couldn't quite haul it in. The wind was motoring that thing over towards the dugout.
Yeah, it started off, I thought it was going to hit just above our heads in the netting in front of the press box window, but wind blew it way left. Tough one to track for Escobar.
That's just a loud strike. So now 2-2. Two teams picked ahead of Jacksonville in the ASUN preseason poll. Lipscomb first, Florida Gulf Coast second. Jacksonville third, Stetson picked fourth, Kennesaw State fifth, and Austin Peay sixth. There's a strike three called. He ran that cutter in on the hands of the righty, and there's one away.
That pitch is one of the better pitches I think we've seen across this Wildcats pitching staff. It's really disastrous on both sides because it can pull away from you if you're a lefty, and if you're a right-hander, it jumps in on you at the last second. It's a brutal pitch to track down.
Now here's Josh Steidel. First pitch, curveball, misses low. 1-0. Despite being picked third in the preseason poll, Jacksonville, as there's a fastball, swing and a miss, strike one, only had one player selected on the preseason All-ASUN team, that being starting pitcher Evan Crest, who's one of their weekend pitchers that you're not seeing tonight. Oh, excuse me, Justin Nato also picked preseason All-ASUN.
Feels a lot like Bethune-Cookman picked the pinch second, has been picked towards the top of the SWAC for several years in a row now, and haven't seen the representation on the All-SWAC team.
The 2-1 hit high in the air to right field and deep. Fabo goes back, looks up, adios. This game is tied. Josh Steidel, a mammoth home run, his fifth of the season. He leads all Dolphins in homers, and it's 3-3.
Against the wind a little bit out there to right center field. We have seen an uncharacteristic amount of long balls in the last, call it 4 or 5 games here at the Jack. That's another one that was a no-downer. If it weren't for the wind, you maybe questioned it a little bit, but off the bat, he got every bit of that one. Right over by the Vision home run or Vision HR sign out there, which I guess in this case stands for home run.
Yeah, first pitch low to Abdiel Delgado. Delgado walked in the second, struck out in the fourth, reached on a fielder's choice in the sixth, and was stranded on first. Second pitch low and inside. With Gork still going down there in the bullpen, you wonder how quick the hook is going to be from Coach Hernandez here for Dudones. Excuse me. Breaking ball catches the knees on the outside corner, 2-1. I think that breaking ball's probably been Dudones' second best pitch outside the cutter. The 2-1 goes to the curveball again and forces Nader to chop it foul behind the plate.
Of course, you have a mistake pitch with the home run, but Dudones overall, he's just such a fun pitcher to watch. That mix is fascinating because one of the few guys who it's not just fastball, high fastball off speed. He could do anything.
Breaking ball, chopped slowly foul, first base side. And we had a lot of scouts here over the weekend in the main series, mostly watching Jeremiah Jenkins, the first baseman from Maine, who crushed a couple of homers over the weekend. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dudones starts getting some scouts out here to watch him pitch. There's a big cut and miss as he got Nader to swing through the curveball. And there's 2 away.
Dudones went breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. The first 3 were more of that lateral break to it. That one broke inside. And he really had no chance.
Now with 2 down, here's Connor Spellman. And even though the Wildcats have had the lead both 2-0 and 3-2, you never really thought that those run totals were going to be enough in a midweek game. back end of both of these teams' bullpens after playing a weekend series. The 1-0 grounded sharply foul outside of third, 1-1. Connor Spellman's been on base twice and struck out in the sixth. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second and walked in the fourth. Been a lot of fielder's choices in this game. Udonis' 1-1 is spiked into the dirt, 2-1. Whereas Bethune-Cookman picked to finish second in the Eastern Conference in the SWAC preseason poll behind Alabama State. Pitch. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike, 2-2. But really, between Alabama State, Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, and Florida A&M, that top four could really shake out any way you'd like it. Towards third, nice snag at third by Vasquez. He throws across to end the inning. 1 run, 1 hit on the home run by Steidl, and none left. And we go to the bottom of the eighth. Wildcats now tied with the Jacksonville Dolphins, 3-3, right here on the CatEye Network. Jorge Gonzalez Febo leads things off for the Wildcats in the bottom of the eighth after the long home run by Josh Steidl. Tied things up at 3 in the top of the inning. Wildcats have not scored since the fifth and went 1-2-3 in the seventh against Tommy Allman. Allman's first pitch is spiked into the dirt, 1-0. We've seen Fabo kind of mature as this game and this season has gone out. Struck out twice, but then shortened up his swing and doubled to left field as that ball runs in on the hands, called a foul ball. And it's 1-1. That double was back in the fifth.
And after the 1-2-3 seventh, this is a big spot to show that maturity. Don't get too swing happy. You need to get on base. Not try to do too much.
Allman rocks and deals. The 1-1 breaking ball doesn't break enough. Misses high, 2-1. Gonzalez Febo, another Central Point Academy grad from Orlando, fouls one straight back, 2-2. Big spot here for the freshman, trying to lead off the eighth. Allman deals. And it's hit high in the air to center, not deep. Moving in Gale. He makes the catch, one away. More good contact for Fabo.
Yeah, we kind of, in that at bat, are back to where we started this game. A lot of foul contact, not missing the bats much. Is Allman. We'll see if that translated any base hits into a little rally for Bethune-Cookman.
Here's Irvin Escobar. Grounded out. The second was hit by a pitch in the fourth, and then got out to end the fifth. Quiet day for Irvin with the bat. The 1-0, low 2-0. But he does have a nice caught stealing, and he's done well to corral some balls that have been a little wild for the BCU pitchers. That's really this BCU team. The 2-0 fouled back, and it's 2-1. Rock solid defensively, and the hitting is not quite there yet. But again, it's still early March. We've got 2 months of conference play coming up.
7 hits are nothing to shake a stick at by any means.
Breaking ball in there, 2-2. We've seen Allman almost completely go away from that curve, but he threw it there and locked up Escobar. Here's the 2-2. Threw it again, punched him out. And that one ended up going right down the middle, and Irvin's going to want that one back.
Yeah, that is an interesting point you make because that breaking ball is kind of tattooed to start his outing. He's absolutely trended away from it, gone mostly with the hard stuff. But I think whether it maybe was a lack of expecting it from Escobar or really, picked some decent spots with those pitches, froze him right there.
And now with 2 outs, here's Peter Vasquez. Hit a ground rule double and came in to score in the second and has grounded out in the infield in the 4th and 6th. Watches a strike outside corner count 1-1 to Vasquez. Made contact, put the ball in play every time. And he swings and foul tips it into the glove, 1-2. And for as shaky as Allman looked in his first inning, he has sat the Wildcats down 5 in a row, looking to make it 6 right here. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 2 straight 2K straight outs innings for the Wildcats. And we go to the 9th, tied at 3 here at the Jack on the CatEye Network. We head to the 9th in a 3-3 ball game here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Defensive change for Bethune-Cookman. Sergio Rivera moves from center field to right field, and Jorge Gonzalez-Febo will be replaced in the batting order by A.J. Smith, who is now playing center.
We've seen A.J. Smith come in that defensive relief spot in the outfield in the end of these games a couple of times now. He's got some serious speed out there, so he can track down a lot. But the way the wind continues to rip out there, it's no easy job.
Jaden Bastian will pinch hit for the Dolphins to start the inning. Curveball strike one from Dylan Dudonis, who's out there to start his 4th inning of work. 2 pitchers now working in the BCU bullpen. Another breaking ball misses inside 1-1. Bastian, a freshman from Winter Garden, prepped at the First Academy this side of Orlando. A 1-1 from Dudonis. Chop towards third. Charging is Vasquez. He throws low across the diamond, but a great snag by Sufrain means there's 1 away.
Vasquez has a cannon over there at third. He whipped that ball in there.
And now Aiden Masters, who had the single and scored on the Zellum triple in the 5th. One down, top of the ninth, tied at 3. Breaking ball misses low from Dodonis, 1-0.
I'm not sure Dudonis has started a batter out with a fastball in this entire outing. It's been mostly that curve.
That time he goes with the fastball, pumps it right down the middle for strike 1. Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department, as this one is Chop Foul 1 and 2, at BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. That's BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. Your business could be on air with the Wildcats through the entirety of the baseball season, all the way through April and into May. The 1-2, outside 2-2, missed with a fastball.
So Dudonis has gone with the off speed to set up the fastball, which is interesting because nearly every arm in this BCU bullpen rotation does the opposite.
Breaking ball, chopped towards short, sliding stop by Villafana, throws across the diamond. Oh, that might be the play of the game. Jamie Villafana take a bow. He slid to his non-glove side, and from his knees across the diamond, a perfect throw to get out Masters.
That is a professional level play at shortstop. I don't think he knew it too. As soon as he released that ball from his glove, he stood there proud of what he did because he knew that was a dart over to first base. So impressive.
Derek Jeter-esque. And now with 2 down, here's Tanner Zellum. First pitch from Dudonis. Breaking ball missed low. 1-0 as he still continues to go with the breaking ball. And it's mostly been quote unquote garbage pitches in the dirt, outside, way inside. But he's been getting some swings on them too.
Derek Jeter was a mediocre fielder.
The 1-0 ground ball outside of third, says the Red Sox fan. We won't get into that.
Just had to make sure I couldn't let that one totally slide by.
Here's the 1-1. Shot back to the screen, right towards us.
Usually good for about one flinch a game back here, I think.
Yep, that was it.
I think most of them we've kind of gotten used to it and we don't, but
that one,
it's usually one a game, I think, for both of us that
that
just
one
gets
looked
us.
like it was coming right at my face. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Zellum had no idea what was going on with that pitch as the slider is into the glove of Escobar. Nothing doing in the ninth for the Dolphins. Wildcats will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the inning right here on the CatEye Network. Ashton, who came in to pinch hit for the Dolphins in the top of the ninth, goes to replace Edmonds in left field. And we have a new pitcher for Jacksonville. This is the sophomore from Fleming Island, Divine Valier. Valier is one of the players that did pitch against Bethune-Cookman last year. He's also one of the most frequently used arms out of the bullpen for this Jackson State team, making his 6th appearance of the season tonight, but has only gone more than a third of an inning once, or excuse me, twice. against Georgia Southern and Ball State. It'll be the bottom of the order. Colton Olison to lead off for the Wildcats. Valier is a right-hand pitcher, and he winds and fires in on the hand, strike one. Well, he has 5 appearances so far, but he's only pitched 3 1/3 innings. He's given up 3 runs on 5 hits, all earned. And Valier from the stretch. Fastball right down the middle, strike 2. Struck out 2, walked 1, and hit 2 by pitches. He's got an ERA of 8.10. The 0-2. Inside, did it hit Colton? No, it just squirted to the backstop, and it's 1-2.
Valier's got a very tight motion on the mound. Not a whole lot of flaring the arms out. A big leg kick kind of keeps it all pretty vertical. Still decent pop on his heat though.
Valier long stare in. Now the 1-2 misses way outside, 2-2.
I think you saw a little too much movement, maybe at the hips.
Yeah.
Yanked it a bit.
He's got this, again, the short little windup, and he just kind of flicks his arm out there. Gets a lot of spin on that ball moving towards the plate. The 2-2 to Olison. Struck him out swinging on a slider, and there's one away in the 9th. So the Wildcats have struck out 5 of their last 7 plate appearances across the last 3 innings. Back to the top of the order, here's Jamie Villafane. Was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the first. First pitch to him. Chopper towards short. Fielded deep in the hole by Masters. Crosses body. There's the throw, and he's safe. And the ball gets away and rolls into the Jacksonville dugouts. Now the Wildcats have a runner aboard. I'll give that a long single.
That will absolutely go in as a single. I think that if that play shows you anything, it's just how much more impressive Villafañe's play was in the last inning, because he was just about that distance in the hole, a tougher play to corral the ball, and throws it over.
Yeah. Now here's Garrett Chun, 1 for 4. His one hit, a single in the 3rd, and he was stranded on 3rd base, and that was the inning the Wildcats left the bases loaded. First pitch from Valier is a ball outside. This is the first lefty that the right-hander has faced. Other than that, he's grounded out to the pitcher, grounded out to shortstop, and lined out to shortstop has Chun. Spinning a throw back to first. Now, if there were no outs, I would say Chun may try and push a bunt down the 3rd baseline here, because all you need is 1 to end this one here in the 9th, 3-3. But with only 1 out, maybe they try and steal Villafane here. Already has 1 stolen base tonight. That's why they're checking back again to first base. Villafane stole second back in the 1st. That allowed him to come around on 2 sacrifices. They go back again, 3rd straight time checking Villafane at first. They saw his stolen base earlier in the game. Now they're scared. Only 1 pitch thrown to Garrett Chun so far in 4 checkoffs or pickoff attempts. Now the runner goes. It's a fastball down the middle. They throw down to second, and safe at second is Villafane. Whoo, that was close.
It was. He did not get a great jump. I feel like he was only just about halfway to the bag when the throw was made.
So now the potential winning run on second. And you know what made that by Villafane? He reached his right hand, the offhand around the tag, and planted it on the base.
You know when there was no argument from the Jacksonville infield that it had to have been impressive.
Chun looks at strike 1. So the count now 2-1. That pitch on the pickoff attempt was a ball.
Big spot.
Valle deals. Breaking ball hammered towards second. Nadeau will just go to first for the out, and now with 2 down, the winning run is 90 feet away in the form of Villafane. And that's Sergio Rivera coming up. And if you wanted to pick one player on this Wildcats roster, you'd want to be up in this situation, Sergio Rivera would be on the short list. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Bunt single in the 3rd, triple and scored in the 5th. Ground out in the 1st, struck out in the 7th. Winning run 90 feet away. Valier deals. Ground ball first base side, just foul.
And really safe for the strikeout in his last at bat. Rivera's a guy who opened the night tonight, fouling off just about everything he saw. Wasn't missing a lot of bats.
Got to put one on the ground in the outfield to make sure this one is over. The 0-1 in the dirt outside 1-1. You also, if you're Valier, don't want to miss. Because if the ball gets to the backstop, Villafañe's got enough speed to get there. And this backstop is a country mile away from home plate here at the Jack. We've seen it so many times over the last couple of years. Divine Valier's 1-1 is on the way. And it's outside 2-1.
And now here too comes into play the protection in this Bethune-Cookman lineup. You got Jose Gonzalez, who's due to bat next. Already got a swag hitter of the week under his belt. And then of course the big bat Manny Sufrain. So you can't put a guy on. You can't take a batter off. You've got to come right at him.
The 2-1. Big cut and miss. I'm not sure what that pitch was, but it had all kinds of break on it. Eventually ran in on the hands to Sergio Rivera, and now the Dolphins are a strike away from getting out of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, tie game in the ninth. Pitch, low ball 3. The Jacksonville dugout and some of the fans who've traveled down here, made that 2-hour trek, wanted that to be the end of the inning, but it is a full count.
I think Rivera deep inside was maybe expecting to get rung up on that one based on his response there. Shook his head a little bit.
Valles 3-2 in the dirt, ball 4, and we'll see another batter.
And the emotion of this Wildcats dugout, of this Wildcats team overall, is one of the most exciting parts to watch overall.
Yeah. Do we see the double steal with 2 outs in the ninth?
It's been a play the Wildcats have used, at least tried, and I feel like a good several games in a row now. It's been a consistent part of the offensive attack for the Wildcats.
They did it again against Maine on Sunday. That was how they got one of their 3 runs.
They did it on Saturday. They did it on Friday. They did it multiple times in every game against Northwestern.
And what do you want to bet that this is what the Jacksonville meeting on the mound is about right now? If their head coach is out there.
Looks like they're going to make a call to the pen.
Yeah, Chris Hayes. Yeah, so Valier didn't really have it. And they are going to go to the bullpen with 2 on, 2 outs, tie game in the ninth. And we'll see who they go to. Big spot for Chris Hayes, the head coach of this Jacksonville team. 7th year as the head coach of Jacksonville University. Played at JU and was an assistant coach from 2004 to 2016. Also had a stint at Seminole State College as their head coach in there. But is a career Jacksonville Dolphin. And he is going to go to Isaac Williams, the redshirt freshman. To try and get the last out and send us to extra baseball. And just from watching him warm up, he can fire that ball in there.
And watching the Wildcats, huddle break with the base runners, with Gonzalez due to bat next. I got to sit in the dugout in the Florida midweeker a couple weeks back now, and Coach Cartaya is so concise with the game plan. With every time a new reliever comes in, he's immediately laying out plus pitches, where the weaknesses are, where to best attack, best strategies going forward. He keeps it simple, he keeps it crisp, and he puts his guys in a best possible situation to succeed. It's fun. It's very interesting to listen to. So make no doubt about it, Jose Gonzalez is prepared as he steps to the plate.
Yeah. Isaac Williams, the 6'1" redshirt freshman from Fleming Island High School. 4-year varsity player and FACA All-Star. And then he played in 3 games last year as a true freshman before redshirting. This season, this is his 7th appearance. So they've leaned on him a lot in late game scenarios, and he's got only a 1.69 ERA. So he is the closer for this Jacksonville team. In 5 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 5, walked 4, and Jose Gonzalez is going to have a chance to win it for the Cats. Villafane on third after a leadoff single. Rivera on first after a walk. 2 outs in the ninth. Isaac Williams, the righty, fires. They send the runner to second. The pitch is high. There is no throw. It'll be a stolen base for Rivera. And now it's all pedestrian.
I wonder if that wasn't an attempt at the steal we talked about prior to the bullpen change.
The 1-0 hit in the air to left field. That is going to be down! And that's it! This one belongs to the maroon and gold! Jose Gonzalez, a bullet single to the left side. Villafane scores, and the Wildcats win this one in walk-off fashion 4-3.
And what a massive spot. You know, we did every bit to hype up the relief arm that comes out for Jacksonville. First pitch is erratic, forces a pitch right down the middle, and Jose Gonzalez takes absolute advantage of it, smashes it down into left center field. A no-doubt game-winning hit.
And it was only the second pitch he saw. The first one was way upstairs, and then the second one, fastball down the middle. And you were talking about it. Coach Cartaya knows the pitching staffs of the opposing teams. He's done his research, probably knew that the fastball was all that Williams had. And then when the fastball came right down the middle, Jose Gonzalez was ready for it and put it in the left center field gap. That almost was a home run, by the way. I said single. It was one hop to the wall.
It was a rope. It was hit so hard, it probably bounced around in front of the warning track. That was, again, off the bat. Both of us right here, we knew that was ball game.
And the Wildcats will huddle outside of third base as Bryce, this is a team that won one midweek game last year, and that was against a struggling Stetson team. They've now picked up a win against FIU and a win against Jacksonville, both teams last year that swept them in these midweek contests. And while it hasn't been the most consistent looking thing in the world, this Wildcats team seems like they're poised to make a run this year.
And a midweek is a midweek. It's for figuring things out. It's for finding kind of the diamonds in the rough, especially on the pitching staff, or giving guys a breather, especially the later we get into the season. But the very end of that ball game is when it really started to feel as close as you can get to a playoff type position this early in the season. I mean, you're bringing in your big gun out of the bullpen to close things out, to escape the jam, to push it to extra innings. You've got your big bats at the plate that are the guys that you plan on counting on for the remainder of the season to take you deep into the playoffs. And your big bats beat the big arm from Jacksonville and took a game that was been tight the whole way through. Guys stepped up tonight across the board.
And I'm sure when we get a chance to talk to Hernandez here on the post-game show after he finishes up talking to his team and gets over here to the broadcast booth, I'm sure what he's going to say is, yes, great win, but this should have been wrapped up and dusted before we had to walk him off, right? We've left a lot of players on base again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runners on base, and half of those in scoring position.
And you just don't get there without the success of the young arms, of the new arms in this rotation as well. Corey looks strong, does so much more. And again, I think it'll be interesting to hear that perspective from Coach Hernandez as he kind of begins his trot over here. A guy that we kind of expected a full-on bullpen night tonight. He comes in, steps up, throws 90 pitches, 5 innings, puts the team in a position to win. Dudones looks really sharp all the way through, has a couple of blips on the solo shot, but keeps them in that spot to do their job and to come through in a position like that.
Isaac Williams picks up his first decision of the season. It is a loss after he comes in and gives up the game-winning RBI. The win, I believe, goes to Dudones, which would be his second of the year after he picked up the win against FIU a couple of weeks ago. And, of course, Jose Gonzalez with the big single to score Villafane. But how about this Wildcats team not quitting offensively, right? I mean, when you get 5 of 7 Wildcats across 3 innings to go down swinging again, a lot of teams would just drop their heads and say it's not our night, but the Wildcats battled through it. chased that pitcher and eventually ended up walking it off.
And I think that particularly shows on the defensive side of the ball too. I mean, how great really all around the diamond were the Wildcats on defense tonight. Of course, Viafani picks up the web gem for the night, but just all around an excellent performance.
And we are now joined by Coach Hernandez here on the CatEye Network post-game show. Coach, well, there's not many more dramatic ways to win a baseball game, but a game that we felt you may have wrapped up in the fourth or fifth inning, but Jacksonville kept it close all the way.
Yeah, I mean, just credit to the guys all the way around. I think it was a complete team win, right? Clutch hitting, really good base running today, and then the pitchers did a phenomenal job giving us an opportunity.
I want to talk about Jamie Viafani because he has been an absolute rock at shortstop, including making some highlight-worthy plays tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie is just a credit to his work, right? And with Coach Cartaya, right? I mean, in the beginning of the fall, we weren't sure what we are going to do to, replace that shortstop position that we've lost, it seems, the last 2 years in a row. But Jamie's really done a really good job with Coach Cartaya, with his work, trusting the process, trusting in his ability to do what he needs to do, and the willingness for him to get better every day. And it's definitely showing on the defensive side. And I think on the offensive side, he's just doing what we need to do as a leadoff guy, as a spark plug for us.
Late in the game, Allman comes in a tie ball game and gets 5 out of 7 Wildcats to go down swinging. And at that point, what was the message of the team to kind of break him, get him out of the game, and chase him to the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, it's just grinding out at bats at the end of the day, right? Like we want to keep, running up the pitch counts whenever we can, and again, the guys executed the plan. Even if it was, fourth, fifth inning, it doesn't matter. We got to play 9 innings, and let's just stick with who we are, and don't get out of our zone of who we are as an offensive identity, and then just do what we need to do. And the guys did a phenomenal job of that tonight.
I know this win does not count in conference, but this is your first time picking up multiple out of conference wins in multiple years. Does it show that this program is trending in the right direction?
I believe so. I think right. You look for growth. Every year that you're at the helm of the program, and I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. One of our goals this year is to be anywhere around 500 for midweeks, and that hasn't been done here in a long time. So definitely attacking our goals and going about it the right way. And again, just proud of the fellas tonight. With how we played today against a very good JU ball club.
You leave in 2 days to go to Mississippi to play Mississippi Valley State, your first conference series. Give us a quick preview of the weekend.
No, I mean, besides the rain that's going to hit in Mississippi, it gives us an opportunity to start conference on the right foot. Regardless of, the records of both teams, you throw them out, everyone's 0-0. Conference, everything is a little bit more heightened on the pitching side, on the defensive side, and then, situational hitting. We just got to keep doing, what we're doing and keep being who we are. Not getting out of whack with what it is because of the opponent. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We just got to come in, get our work in, and do what we need to do. And what's expected of us is to take care of business this weekend in Mississippi.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. Good luck over the weekend, and we will see you back here next week for the FlamU Series first home conference series. Once again, your final line score, Bethune-Cookman wins it 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Jacksonville 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher is Dylan Dudonis. The losing pitcher is actually Divine Valier because he's responsible for the runner at third that scored off of the Rivera or Gonzalez single to end the game. That'll do it for us here from Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Once again, the Wildcats take this one 4-3, and they win their second non-conference game of the season. For Bryce Hynoski and our entire CatEye Network crew here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, my name is Michael Torreno. Thank you so much for listening to Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Network. We'll see you next time.